Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Esther and I'm grateful. I'm happy for all the love. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for the critics. Thank you for the love and the comments, guys. So as usual, it's supposed to be a career journey segment. I've already done a second shoot with someone that I'd like all of you to hear their career journey. Unfortunately, the editing of that video has taken me quite a while. I'm still learning on editing, so it will take maybe a few other days because I did shoot it last week. It will take some time, but by the end of the week, I'll have it up. So for today, I'll be doing a segment alone, and it's not a career journey. It's something very sensitive to me, and it's something that is very sensitive to a lot of women out there. So not everyone would want to talk about it openly, but it's taken me some time and some courage to now know that it's important just to share my experience, and it could touch someone out there who's going through the same thing. So today's topic is my journey on polycystic ovarian syndrome or PCOD. So some people call it PCOS, some people call it PCOD, meaning polycystic ovarian syndrome or polycystic ovarian disorder. So this is a journey that starts from way back. So for me, growing up, I had normal menstrual periods. I started my periods when I was in class 8, and I had gone for a scout camping in Embakasi. Then voila, kidogo I got my periods. I was with one of my friends called Juliet, and she was very helpful. She was the first person that knew about it. She took me home. We had to come earlier. She took me home. My mom was here, and she was there when my mom was talking to us. So of course my mom gave us that talk of, sasa umekuwa msichana mkubwa and all that. But that was the start of my menstrual journey. So my periods were usually just I'll say irregular, in that they would come every month, but they were also very light. So just 2 days, maximum 3 days. Some people have about 5 days or 1 week and they have heavy periods. So I used to say I'm very fortunate because growing up, not a lot of women or girls actually love having periods. It was seen as a taboo even to talk about it. And then going through it, a lot of women, even up to date, are grossed out. They just don't feel clean, they don't feel good. But when you grow up and realize that that's one of the things that actually makes you a woman, and when you don't have it, then now you start to think about, there's something wrong with me. Is there something wrong with me? And such questions. So my journey from 2006 or 2005 was quite smooth, but when I went to high school, because of the climate change and I had gone to a different location. Those are some of the things that affect periods and affect regular periods. So I'd miss maybe a month, and after 1 month I'd go back to them being regular. So it was like that throughout. But in 2018 I had traveled for work in Turkana, and it was actually on my last day of my periods. So we went to Lake Turkana with some friends and colleagues, and we got an accident. Actually, this car is part of is a memory from that accident, and it's a memory that has carried a lot of misfortunes and a lot of memories for me. So when I got into the accident, I was given a number of medications, and the medication now did affect me. I was also very stressed. I wasn't sleeping. I was going through a lot in my life in that time between July and June. There was a lot going on. So that affected my periods. It affected how regular my periods were. And it now got to a point that in now July, a month after my last periods, I did not receive my periods. They weren't regular anymore. So I just said, okay, at some point this happened, but I'm sure they are going to come back. So July passed and then August. So I decided, let me go and see a doctor. I went, and when they'll obviously ask you your history, they'll ask you when was the last time, they'll ask you, do you think you're pregnant, and all those questions, just to ascertain that they can rule out some things before now they try to diagnose you. So the doctor that I went to was uh, a normal doctor. He wasn't a gynecologist. So to the best of his knowledge, what he did was to prescribe me some hormonal imbalance pills, and I took them it was for 10 days, so nothing, there was no improvement. Then when I got my first job, sorry, not my first job, when I got a job in August, I had the benefits of having a medical cover, so I really did maximize using the medical cover. I went to a gynecologist for the first time. I had an ultrasound for the first time, because for them to diagnose you on anything, of your fertility, of anything of your periods, you need to have a pelvic ultrasound. So I had that, and the results show that I had ovarian cysts. So I remember I was at the doctor, and it was at Aga Khan. I was at the doctor, and a friend of mine just walked in. She was pregnant. So she asked me, unafanya nini hapa? I told her I've come to see a doctor. Then now we started Googling the symptoms, me and her. And she made me feel so bad. I started crying. So the nurses were asking me, what's wrong? I told one of the nurses, I've just seen the symptoms and all this. So I was really worried. And at that point, I I was now called back by the doctor, and he told me, don't cry. Actually, it's not something that's bad. It's something that nowadays a lot of women are experiencing. So that's kind of ikanishusha kidogo, and then I felt a little bit better. But of course, when I went home, I went back, I googled the scene, I googled everything. And when you go to Google as your doctor, it gives you the good and the bad, and mostly the bad. So now nikaanza kukua frustrated, and this did affect me a lot when it came to my work. And it's because I would now start going almost every Wednesday to a gynecologist for follow-ups, and it got to a point that I felt my manager at that time was now thinking maybe it's just an excuse. But because I wasn't ready to open up to someone about it, I just decided I'm going to tell her that I have regular checkups, but I'm not going to tell her it's about my hormonal imbalance. So now my symptoms for PCOD were and still are weight gain. So I did gain some weight, a lot of weight actually, and I would have insomnia. And then the biggest, or like the one that really frustrated me, has been missed periods. So from 2018 up to now, I remember in between those years, once or twice I had like spotting, but that was just it. And the thing is, with PCOD or with hormonal related disorders in women, when you go to doctors, they give you like an umbrella solution. They don't go into the small things that cause your PCOD, because even medics are not really sure of what causes it, or like they've not really understood it well. And that's why you find in different women there are different symptoms. So some of the symptoms are facial growth. That's why you find some women wako na ndevu, you find some women have a lot of hair growth at the back, you find that they have acne, especially back acne and even facial acne, and you find a lot of people gain weight, and now you're being told, you're being restricted on a lot of things. Unaambiwa don't use milk, don't take proteins, don't take all these things. You're told you need to lose weight. Sometimes you're not even big or fat, lakini unaambiwa you need to lose weight. So most of the doctors or most of the gynecologists, uh, they just try to give you solutions, but they are not sure about it. So it's also good to always go to good gynecologists. Don't just medicate yourself. Don't just say wacha nitumie this kind of family planning because I saw nani and nani used it and it worked. No, uh, you have to be diagnosed well and correctly, and then now you have to follow the procedures, to really work with your doctors. But now this is also something that's expensive, and a lot of a lot of prescriptions that are made with by doctors on hormonal imbalances are not covered by medical insurance, because they are always termed as fertility related medication. So when you go, for example, you might be told you need to take certain pills for 30 days or for 20 days, and you find a packet is probably 2,000. So it's not going to be covered by the insurances. You have to now go to your pockets and now buy it. So you find it's about, you lose about 6,000 in just 2-3 months just for those pills, and you're not guaranteed that your periods will be back, that your hormones will be balanced. So a lot of the medication that is put out there is just for, it's for trial and error. And most people nowadays are going back to herbals and going back to see herbalists. And to be honest, a lot of herbal medicine is really helping out, especially when it comes to such disorders. So I did say that one of the symptoms, I did mention some of the symptoms that I've experienced, but now the worries that come with such symptoms or with such disorders is, will you ever get pregnant? Will you ever have children? You have early menopause symptoms. So these were some of the things that worried me at first, but I've really never been in a rush to have children. And that's why it's very important when you find women who don't have kids, and you ask them, mbona hauna mtoto, unazaa lini, unaolewa nini? There are a lot of things that build up, and a lot of reasons and a lot of choices that make people not to have the same lifestyle as you. Not everyone wants to have kids by 25 or by 30. Not everyone wants a nice job, or not everyone wants to have their masters by 30. People have different choices, and people feel valued with different achievements in life. I have friends who know that having kids for them is like their biggest achievement. I have friends who have masters and now they want to do their PhDs, and for them education is their most achievement goal. I have friends whose most achievement goals are being able to rise up in managerial positions. So a lot of people have different choices, and that's why I always say it matters a lot when you're talking to someone about sensitive topics. Know how to ask them, know the right tone to use when asking them. And if it's really not a bother to you, why are you asking someone about them having kids, about them being married, and so what, you know? So this is a very sensitive topic. It might not really touch all the men that might be watching, but it's an important topic because women and their menstrual journey is quite sensitive and it's very difficult. So it's good to know yourself, it's good to know how to cope if you have such a condition. So personally, I I try not to stress so much, but I still do get stressed with little things and a lot of things. I try to work out just to keep my weight balanced. Um, I'm not good at dieting, I will not lie. I love a lot of junk food. I eat a lot of kuku. Yani I've not taken precaution when it comes to dieting and managing PCOS, but I do exercise, and I've recently discovered asanas, which is some yoga positions specifically for pelvic floor and for hormonal imbalance. So I'm currently doing them, but I'm not doing them regularly. I also have backslided a little bit when it comes to working out and exercising. But I also found that just uh, finding women who are going through the same journey and who are going through things that are related to what I'm going through has helped me a lot. And when I find such people, we talk about it, we try to encourage each other, and some just they recommend on what has helped them, what is not working for them. And so those are some of the steps and how I'm trying to manage my PCOS journey. So I'd like to know, um, do you have any issues when it comes to your hormonal imbalances? Do you are your periods regular? I'd like to know if you have such issues. Have they affected your work? Have they affected how you look at life? Have they affected your whole lifestyle? So that's it for today. Thank you. Yes, subscribe, comment, and like. And thank you very much, guys. So, bye bye.